Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Just Law on IQRA TV. I'm your host Ilyas Bulbulia. This is the second part to the show. Just before the break, we were looking at the position of European citizens and their family members who are in the UK, or European citizens who may wish to come to the United Kingdom. And we were looking at the impact of the impending Brexit, UK leaving Europe, whether it is by way of a deal or without a deal. Before we look at that, let's take our next call. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
जी वालेकुम सलाम। जी जी
मैंने आपसे पूछना था, मैंने अपनी अम्मी को यहाँ विजिट वीजे पे बुलाना है।
जी ठीक है।
तो और मैं तो काम नहीं करती, मेरे हस्बैंड की 36 प्लस सैलरी है।
जी ठीक है। ओके।
तो और मेरी डिलीवरी भी है जुलाई में।
जी ठीक है। मदर कभी पहले आए हैं यूके?
फर्स्ट टाइम आएंगे।
ऑलराइट, ओके। सो यहाँ से तो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है। आपको जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स यहाँ से सबमिट करने हैं वो वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है। आप एक है ना कि आप लेटर भी बना सकते हैं, या तो सॉलिसिटर के पास एक वो उसको दे कॉल इट स्टैट्यूटरी डिक्लेरेशन, वो आप बना सकते हैं। सेइंग के लुक, मदर को हम इनवाइट कर रहे हैं, आपकी प्रेगनेंसी है, डिलीवरी है, इसलिए वो यहाँ आ रहे हैं, एंड दैट आप उसको फाइनेंशियली सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, आपके साथ रह सकते हैं। सो वन इज़ द लेटर और द डिक्लेरेशन। सेकंड क्या है कि सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स। सो हस्बैंड की पासपोर्ट की कॉपी, आपकी पासपोर्ट की कॉपी यू नीड टू सबमिट, देन 3 months वेज स्लिप्स, 3 months बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स, और जो घर है उसका प्रूफ के डीड्स है, टेनेंसी एग्रीमेंट जो भी है। अगर इफ़ यू रिसीव बेनिफिट्स तो यू पुट बेनिफिट्स लेटर इन एज वेल। सो यहाँ से हम ये बताते हैं कि एक रीज़न क्या है आने के लिए, उसका सेकेंडली हम ये बता रहे हैं उसको कि आपके पास इनफ पैसे है उसको लुक आफ्टर करने के लिए, और घर भी है जिसमें वो रह सकते हैं। सो इट्स क्वाइट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड। पासपोर्ट कॉपीज़, 3 months वेज स्लिप्स, 3 months बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स, बेनिफिट लेटर्स एंड अकोमोडेशन प्रूफ। सो दैट इज़ वो आपको यहाँ से तैयार करना है, और एक लेटर या डिक्लेरेशन सॉलिसिटर भी बना सकता है इफ़ यू वांट टू गेट इट फ्रॉम अ सॉलिसिटर। सो आपको यहाँ से दिस इज़ व्हाट यू नीड टू गेट रेडी, ने आपको मदर को भेजना पड़ेगा। या
और पाकिस्तान से कौन से डॉक्यूमेंट्स चाहिए?
पाकिस्तान में से उसको ये बताना पड़ेगा कि वहाँ वो सेटल्ड है, उसके पास फैमिली भी वहाँ है। सो नॉर्मली अगर आपके फादर भी है तो फादर का कुछ प्रूफ डालेंगे, फादर्स पासपोर्ट, और वो क्या कर, फिर फैमिली इनकम।
मेरी अम्मी के वहाँ पे अपने नाम प्रॉपर्टी है
जी,
और मेरे भाई उनके साथ रहते हैं।
दैट्स फाइन। सो जो एसेट्स है उसके पास, घर है, ज़मीन जो भी है, उसका प्रूफ डालेंगे। फिर उसकी इनकम कुछ कोई है, कोई डज शी हैव एन इनकम?
नहीं, हाउस वाइफ है वो।
ओके। बैंक में पैसे हैं?
जी है, बैंक में।
हाँ, तो वो भी बता सकेंगे। देखो लुक, हमारे पास ये ज़मीन है, ये घर है, जो फैमिली में जो कोई काम करते हैं हस्बैंड या चिल्ड्रन, उसका प्रूफ भी बता सकते हैं कि हमारी फैमिली इनकम, दिस इज़ आवर फैमिली इनकम। बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स यू कैन शो कि ये सेविंग्स है। और भी अगर एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली है, यू हैव इमीडिएट फैमिली, नॉट एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली, वो अदर सन्स डॉटर्स, उसका प्रूफ भी बता सकते हैं। सो बेसिकली ये बताना पड़ता है कि फाइनेंशियली उसका सिचुएशन ठीक है वहाँ, और उसके पास फैमिली भी वहाँ है, तो ये डेमोन्स्ट्रेट वहाँ से करना पड़ता है।
तो ये इन सब के लिए लेटर तैयार करना पड़ेगा, या उनके पासपोर्ट, आईडी कार्ड वगैरह अटैच करने होंगे?
तो यहाँ से
जी,
यहाँ से तो आपको कुछ लेटर तैयार करना पड़ेगा ना, कि आप मदर को इनवाइट कर रहे हैं,
ठीक है,
कि आपकी प्रेगनेंसी है, उसका भी कुछ प्रूफ डालना पड़ेगा। सॉरी फॉर दैट।
क्योंकि मेरी जो फर्स्ट प्रेगनेंसी हुई थी मुझे काफी कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हो गई थी, उसके बाद मेरे काफी ऑपरेशन हुए, और अभी मुझे डॉक्टर ने भी लेटर लिख के दिया है कि
दैट्स फैंटास्टिक। जी, अगर डॉक्टर ने भी लेटर लिख दिया तो वो भी आप डाल सकते हैं वो आपके एप्लीकेशन के साथ। सो बेसिकली डॉक्यूमेंट वाइज तो यही है, डॉक्टर्स लेटर, पासपोर्ट्स, वेज स्लिप्स, बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स, अकोमोडेशन प्रूफ। इसके साथ एक लेटर कर दो ना, लुक आई एम इनवाइटिंग माई मदर, और आपकी तरफ से, हस्बैंड की तरफ से, वी आर इनवाइटिंग योर मदर इन लॉ, ये हमारी इनकम है, ये हमारे पास घर है, ये रीज़न है। जस्ट एक शॉर्ट लेटर, जस्ट इवन 3-4 पैराग्राफ्स, वो ठीक है।
ठीक है। और आप प्लीज़ मुझे ये बता दें कि इसकी एप्लीकेशन फ़ीस कितनी होगी?
होम ऑफिस फ़ीस पाकिस्तान से जब अप्लाई करते हैं तो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली £130, £140 अप्रॉक्सीमेटली इतनी होती है, 130 to 140 pounds।
ठीक है, बहुत शुक्रिया।
ठीक है ना? Okay, thank you very much. आपका कॉल के लिए thank you very much. So just before that call and just before the break, we were looking at the position of European citizens, and what I was saying was that the government has now introduced a completely new system, which is that they want identity checks in relation to the applications to be done by on a smartphone. Indeed, the whole application can be done on a smartphone, and what it will involve is using the smartphone, registering for this EU settlement, pre-settlement scheme, so that you'll need to input your telephone number, you'll get a code, you register on their website. Once you've registered, you will need to scan your passport using your smartphone. So you don't need to use a scanner. You use your phone to scan the passport, and it picks up all the documents from the passport, your passport number, it picks up issue dates, expiry dates, etc. It does it by itself. So the smartphone will pick up this information when it scans the passport. So that will be done. The next step will be, instead of submitting a passport size photograph, you use the smartphone to take a picture of yourself, and that will be the identity check that needs to be done. So it's done using the smartphone, passports are scanned, and the pictures taken using the iPhone as well. After that, there are a series of questions that you are asked. You can do the application then on your computer, but it's very easy to continue with your smartphone app and do the application online. So it will ask you about how long have you lived in the UK, whether you've got any criminal convictions or not, etc. So there's a series of 4 or 5 questions. It might ask you about absences. Okay, at the end of that, all in all, it takes about 20-30 minutes to do the whole application online. At the end of that, what happens is that you get an immediate decision in relation to the application. So straight away, the checks are done by the Home Office, and they will either say that yes, we have sufficient, we've done the checks, sufficient data there, which confirms that you've been living in the UK for 5 years, happy to grant you settled status. Or if there is insufficient evidence there that you have been living in the UK for 5 years, then what will happen is that you will have 2 choices. You can either say, look, I have lived in the UK for less than 5 years, so I am now applying for pre-settled status, not settled status. Or the second choice that you will have is to say, actually, I have lived in the UK five years, your checks haven't confirmed that, but what you can do is you'll be given the opportunity to upload your supporting documentation. So for example, the checks that the Home Office has done, and we'll come on to the checks that the Home Office does. The checks that the Home Office has done may reveal that yes, you've been living in the UK for the last 3 years, but it doesn't have records for the 2 years prior to that. So for example, for 14 and 15 there are no records, but for 16, 17, 18 there are records. So once you get a decision, once it says, look, we can't grant you settled status, it will tell you the records which are missing. So for example, if the records which are missing relates to years 13 and 14, you will then be able to upload documentation relating to that. We'll come back to that after we've taken our next call. Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you doing, Akhi?
Jay, how are you? You okay? What's your question?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, thank you. The question is related to basically arbitration.
Okay, sure. Yep.
Okay. It could be any organisation. It could be a Sharia council. It could be any mediation organisation.
Sure, I understand.
But just regarding the principles of arbitration.
Yep. Okay.
Is it obviously necessary, whoever is arbitrating, to have evidence from both parties and to consider evidence from both parties during that procedure?
Okay.
Because my understanding is obviously arbitration is amongst both parties, and to have arbitration just based on one party initiates, say, a dispute, but to resolve this dispute, Islamically or just morally, you would expect the person arbitrating to say, okay, this is your side of the story. Now we want to hear the other side. And then once they've got both sides, they were able to determine, okay, here you're right, here you're wrong, here the other party is right, here the other party is wrong. Just like you're doing at the moment, you're answering questions, you're deliberating. So I just want you to say legally what would be the definition and give clarification.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Thank you very much for your question. I'll deal with that. Now, in my experience, there are two processes that we normally have. Mediation, which seems to be slightly more informal, and there is, in the legal field, there is a more formal process, which is arbitration. And what you tend to find is with mediation, if there's just a mediator involved, for example, small claims court where there's a dispute over, let's say, a dispute over £5,000, you can use the mediation service. What tends to happen, mediator gets involved. Now, the mediator in that situation doesn't necessarily look at all the evidence from both sides. It basically he'll listen to one side, go back to the other side, and then try and get the parties together. That's what the mediator does. However, arbitration is a slightly different process. Arbitration is quite formal, and what you tend to find is when an arbitrator is appointed, the arbitrator normally belongs to a professional body. Maybe it's the chartered surveyor or something of that nature. Now, the arbitrator takes a much more formal approach. The arbitrator looks at evidence, looks at statements from both sides, and then makes a decision. So the arbitrator isn't mediating necessarily to get the parties together. The arbitrator is making a decision on the dispute. To be able to do that, there has to be a method by which documentation and evidence is taken by the arbitrator. So it's a much more formal process in practice. But thank you very much for your call. Let's take our next call. Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम
जी, thank you for calling. जी, आपका question क्या है?
हाँ जी, मैंने पूछना था ना, हमने अपनी बहन की शादी की थी इंडिया में जाके, और वो बिल्कुल खुश नहीं है, और वो जो हस्बैंड है उसका बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है उसके साथ। वो सिर्फ इंग्लैंड आने के लिए उसने ये सब किया था। तो फिर अब हम डिवोर्स कैसे करें उसका?
वो यहाँ आ गया है यूके में कि नहीं आया? नहीं है। ऑलराइट, ओके। और शादी वो प्रॉपर हो गई थी इंडिया में, जो रजिस्ट्री मैरिज हो गई थी। जी, ठीक है। तो ऑब्वियसली इंडिया में जो शादी हुई प्रॉपर जो सिस्टम से हुई, सो as far as UK law is concerned, वो भी उसको they consider that to be a proper marriage. इस पे 2 options है आपके लिए। Easiest option ये है कि आप यहाँ से divorce proceedings शुरू कर सकते हैं UK court में। So the girl that is here, because वो UK resident है, तो वो UK के कोर्ट्स में वो डिवोर्स के लिए अप्लाई कर सकती है। इसमें एक रूल है कि यू कैन ओनली अप्लाई आफ्टर 1 year has passed normally. So अगर 1 year हो गया है, आप यहाँ से केस शुरू कर सकते हैं। एक इश्यू इसमें यह आता है कि कोर्ट के जो कागज़ होते हैं ना, वो कोर्ट के कागज़ वो where the husband is, तो वो कागज़ वो वहाँ भेजेंगे इंडिया में। ना अगर वो साइन कर ले तो then it's fine, it's done. अगर वो साइन नहीं करता तो फिर आपको वहाँ का कोई लॉयर करना पड़ेगा, and that lawyer will go and give the documents to him, और वो स्टेटमेंट बनाएगा कि यस मैंने खुद या मेरी ऑफिस में से वो जाकर जो हस्बैंड था हमने उसको ये कागज़ पहुंचा दिए। तो अगर वो स्टेटमेंट वो बना लेगा तो फिर आप यहाँ से आपका डिवोर्स जो है ये कंटिन्यू कर सकेंगे। मगर स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ये है कि आप यहाँ से डिवोर्स के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। मे बी दैट इज़ द बेस्ट ऑप्शन।
इधर एक्सपेंसिव नहीं होगा? जी
सॉरी,
एक्सपेंसिव नहीं होगा इधर पे?
यहाँ फीस है, कोर्ट की फीस £550। अगर इफ़ शी इज़ंट वर्किंग, शी इज़ वर्किंग तो £550 की फ़ीस है। इसमें फिर वो अनलाइकली कि उसको कोई फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस मिले। प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि इंडिया में भी इट्स नॉट ईजी टू गेट अ डिवोर्स। इंडिया में भी कोर्ट सिस्टम में इट्स क्वाइट अ फ्यू स्टेप्स वहाँ भी, और वहाँ भी थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है वो डिवोर्स लेने के लिए। And I think the problem is कि वो लड़की यहाँ है ना, so I don't know whether she'll be able to get the divorce there. वहाँ कोई लॉयर करना पड़ेगा।
उसने कुछ रजिस्टर नहीं की, उसकी मैरिज कुछ भी नहीं किया।
नहीं, मगर उसने वहाँ शादी रजिस्टर कर ली ना, ये प्रॉब्लम है ना।
Yeah.
So यहाँ जो register उसने कर लिया, she is legally married. प्रॉब्लम ये है ना कि लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल ये उसको न बुलाए और फिर वो आगे जाकर दोबारा शादी करना चाहती है, तो अगर फर्स्ट हस्बैंड ने बता दिया कि शी इज़ ऑलरेडी मैरिड टू मी, तो प्रॉब्लम आएगा ना. ये दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम.
अभी वो थ्रेटिंग भी करता है, मैं इधर आ जाऊंगा, तेरे को छोड़ूंगा नहीं, मेरे को उधर बुलाओ, ऐसे भी करता है
वो. तो प्रॉपर डिवोर्स करना ही पड़ेगा. और जब यहाँ कोर्ट से जो कागज़ उसके पास जाएंगे, आई डोंट थिंक ही विल साइन एनीथिंग. तो वहाँ का लॉयर यूज़ करना पड़ेगा टू सर्व द डॉक्यूमेंट्स ऑन हिम. अगर वो सर्व कर ले डॉक्यूमेंट्स उसको, देन वी डोंट नीड, उसकी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. यू कैन जस्ट कंटिन्यू विद द डिवोर्स. मगर आई थिंक द बेस्ट ऑप्शन इज़ आप यहाँ से प्रॉपर डिवोर्स ले ले यहाँ से. आई डोंट थिंक इंडिया से आप करेंगे तो कोई आपको कोई सेविंग्स होगी, नहीं होगी, और टाइम वाइज भी बहुत टाइम लगेगा वहाँ. ठीक है ना. ऑलराइट है, चल ठीक है.
थैंक यू सो मच.
नो प्रॉब्लम है. ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दैट कॉल. विल टेक आवर नेक्स्ट कॉल. हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Walaikum Assalam. So yeah, I'm calling regarding my leave to remain application.
Okay.
So we sent it across for renewal on the 5th of March, and we went to the service centres on a priority service, which kind of guarantees a 24-hour reply. But unfortunately, we still haven't heard a response from them. I just wanted to know your advice on what we can do or how we can see what the problem was.
Okay, what kind of application were you submitting? What kind of application was it?
It was the family route for leave to remain in the UK.
Okay, so the existing visa, what was the existing visa?
So it was just credential leave to remain on the basis of Article 8, a right to family life.
So is it for your partner, husband?
So it was for my family. My father submitted the application on behalf of us.
Okay. All right, okay. So in terms of your father and you as a family, were you overstayers, or are you overstayers at the moment?
No, so we've got a biometric residence permit which was due to expire on the 25th of March.
Okay, I understand.
And this is our second time we're renewing it. We've already renewed it once before in 2016. So we're on the 10-year route, basically.
So you already had a proper visa. All you were doing were extending
it. We were just renewing it, simply renewing it.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
I mean, those kind of cases, they should turn it around and decide the applications.
It's really strange because it was supposed to be within 24 hours. We were supposed to get a response.
You see, specifically, they have said that, these cases, the FLRFP, the what you're talking about, if you're human rights, 2.5 years you're here, you extended it. Specifically, they say you are able to use the priority service for that. So they draw a distinction between that and somebody who's an overstayer wants to go into this route for the first time. There they're saying you shouldn't really be using the priority service. But in your case, they specifically say you can use the priority service. Now, reality is all you can do is phone up the Home Office and try and find out what's happened. It was a priority application. What's happened? You know what they should really do? If it's a priority application, and let's say they do need to make inquiries, it's possible. They don't always make a decision straight away. Let's say they do need to make inquiries. They should send an email to you to say, we've not been able to process it because it's slightly complicated. We need X, Y, and Z.
Exactly, yeah. We were just waiting for an email as well, but unfortunately we haven't received any for last week.
You see, in my experience, with this 24-hour service, sometimes you don't get the decision on the day. Sometimes you don't get the decision the next day, it's the day after. So somebody who submits the application on the 5th, you would expect a decision by the 7th of March, which was Thursday last week.
Yeah.
Now, I think maybe what might be easier is if you wait until the end of this week.
Okay.
If you don't get anything by the end of this week, I think you should phone the Home Office to say what's going on. What they should do is drop you an email, send you an email to say it's taking longer. But in your situation, they should process it within 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, that's why it was a bit concerning. That's why I was calling in. But thank you. So you recommend us waiting till the end of the week and then we contact
Leave it till the end of the week. I have seen some delays. If you don't get anything by the end of the week, just give them a ring and say, look, it's a priority application. Can you just give us an update?
Lastly, do you think there might have been a problem from our side? Or like maybe is it any documentations that were missing that might be causing the delay?
It might be that they want to make some inquiries. It might be that they want. But it's fine. I mean, if they come back to you and say, look, we have looked at it. It's not straightforward. We want X, Y, and Z, for example. We want a letter from the school. We want a letter from the doctors. That's fine. They can say that.
Okay.
But they haven't said anything at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate the advice you've given.
No problem.
We'll take it forward. Thank you very
brilliant.
much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. So just before we took those calls, we were looking at the European settlement scheme or the pre-settlement scheme, and we were talking about this new process that's been introduced, completely different from before, and what they want is for the smartphone to be used to for the identity checks for scanning of the passports. Now, essentially, what will happen is they will say whether they're going to give you settled status or whether they're going to give you pre-settled status. Now, if there's a problem, as I was explaining before, they will say to you, upload certain documents, and if there are gaps in your proof of residence in the UK, then the Home Office will say, upload the documents, let's look at whether you have been in the UK for 5 years or not. Just a couple of points before we finish for the day. The key thing now is that the parties who are applying, the European citizen who's applying, doesn't need to have been working in the UK for 5 years. So there's been a real change in terms of the law, in terms of settlement and pre-settlement status. What I will do is on next week's show, I'll look at that in greater detail. Inshallah, we should be back next week on Monday. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.